This has been 3 years in the making for me. This current collection that I'm showing, it's raw and it's like nothing that I've ever done before. And I'm really excited. I don't think I've ever been more excited to show some work. My name is Dabagia, and I will have my show White Static showing at the Rising Phoenix Gallery here in Michigan City on February 6th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. A beginning and an end, a death and life, and sadness and anxiety with hope, kind of all put together. And what the white static actually represents is when you're feeling all these things and everything just kind of jumbled up inside of you and staticky and moving around constantly in your head, that's what the white static term kind of represents in this work. About 3 years ago, I had a lot of life changes. During this time, some of those situations took me on a path where I just kind of experienced some anxiety, moments of sadness and depression. Usually in those moments is when I tend to find my most artistic ideas. Things just kind of artistically kind of come to me in those moments. When I was feeling down and full of anxiety and didn't really know what to do with it, I would just pick a location and I would start shooting. I would play music that kind of matched the mood that I was in, and I would shoot the images of myself just kind of moving my body to the sound of the music or just to the way that, at the time I was feeling, which was a lot of anxiety. The images themselves were pretty dark, pretty industrial. A lot of the background is metal and cement and just a lot of hard elements, which obviously represented a lot of what I was feeling at the time. Seclusion and cold and loneliness and the ability to not really be able to escape. And as time went on, I would mess around with the images. I would crop them and, change some of the coloring and do some fun things with them. And I was liking what I was doing, and I liked what it was showing. It was showing this part of me that I've never really shot before, that I've never really documented or paid attention to. But they just felt really incomplete. But even with them feeling incomplete, I still continued, to shoot them. And I knew eventually I would find the missing piece to go with them, or what exactly I was going to do with them. There was a couple times where I was vacationing with my husband in Mexico, where I was just having a moment where I just wasn't really feeling myself, and I just decided to go out and just get some shots of the local culture and some of the buildings and some of the plant life and the water and everything around me. I was feeling a little bit anxious, so I thought, well, just get out and start shooting some photos and just seeing what I come up with and take my mind off of it. And what I was finding was just a lot of beauty, and out of all the times that I had been to Mexico, I just never really stopped to pay attention to all the different natural elements that were around me. And that's what I started shooting. I started shooting the trees and the flowers and people's gardens and the park and, anything that I just found that was moving me. It was kind of helped lifting me a little bit out of, what I was feeling at the time, which again was anxiety. And I liked how they turned out, and I was really happy with them. But again, I really didn't do too much with them. I would sometimes revisit the ones that I would take in the more industrial element, and then the wildlife that I would take with the plants and the flowers and such. And one day I actually had one of each photos in front of me from 2 different shoots, and I'd kind of put it together. And that's actually when it kind of hit me. I was documenting these times that I was feeling this sense of anxiety and seclusion and just wanted to detach and have to just kind of live through what was going on in my head. What I came to realize was here I had these images of this dark aspect of my anxiety and what I would feel sometimes, but then I also had these elements of nature that, although when I took them I was feeling down and anxious, they kind of gave me a little bit of hope. They kind of gave me a little bit of ease to what I was going through. So I thought, what a perfect thing to do to kind of combine the two. And that's what you're going to see here at the exhibit. Is you're going to see these different moments that I had through my ups and downs that have kind of been put together to represent what I came to really find out at the end of this 3-year artistic journey with this particular collection that I've worked on is art itself is one of the #1 factors of when I'm feeling this way and my head is full of the white static and I have all this anxiety in front of me. What I've really come to see is that art itself is what helps take me out of it, at least for a little bit. And I'm really excited. I don't think I've ever been more excited to show some